Well, it would be very hard to be overcritical of the performance last night. You could look at it and say, did the manager get the selections right, the right back position? Um, Matt Doherty struggled obviously on the goal. Then he had a chance to redeem himself when he made the opportunity other end of the pitch. But you'd wonder, would Seamus Coleman have done better in that position? That's the big decision manager has to make. Would one of the other more experienced forwards have done better than Troy Parrott last night, who has had a poor run at club level, hasn't scored this season for Preston, as we know. They've only scored 3 goals. Would one of the more experienced centre-halves that wasn't chosen, like obviously Shane Duffy, have done better than one of the younger ones when the cross came into the box for the first goal, or when the corner came in for the eventual penalty kick? So they're the big decisions the manager has to make. As regards the game itself and how they played, the team played quite well. There was definitely a good shape about it and clarity about the roles of players in the team. I felt that we ended up with a back five too often at times. Normally when you're playing against a team, if you play a back five and the opposition play a back four, normally your full backs will engage the opposition's full back. Your wing backs, as in James McLean and Matt Doherty, would go to their wing backs when they were getting forward. That wasn't the case yesterday. Our back five stayed in place. Our midfield three, the 2 wide players, Malumbi and Knight, were asked to, I'd say we weren't forced, they were asked to obviously tactically get across and deal with the full back, which gave them an awful lot of work to do. It meant we were cut out a little bit short at times in the middle of the pitch. And you can look at the missed chance, the biggest missed chance, I'd say. I'd say the midfield three, they scrapped very hard and worked very hard and stopped Scotland getting a lot of rhythm until the second half. But didn't do a huge amount with the ball themselves. Most of our best creative stuff came from the back to front, with early passes into the front two, who played well as a pair together. But just, we still need goals. We still need to, when we only get very few chances in international games, you've got to take them. So, criticisms of the manager might be about the selection. He ultimately makes those decisions. If he wants to go for those young players and he decides they're better than more experienced players, Jeff Hendrick, Robbie Brady, Duffy I mentioned, Coleman I mentioned, Robinson he didn't start. With more experienced players on the pitch, would we have held on to a 1-0 lead? We don't know, but it's been recurring. We've been ahead against Ukraine, not in the Ukraine, mind you, it was in Lodz. It's happened previously in Portugal, for instance, where we were ahead, we lost goals later on. So, there's something missing that we keep losing matches.